What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got some absolutely jaw-dropping news for you guys today. Some of it I cannot even believe, but it's true, at least, well, parts of it, and I'll give you the details here today. Let's go over this. California looking to pay out what they're calling reparations to Black residents in California based on their lineage for apparently slavery. And I know you can't make this stuff up. I'm trying to be politically correct here. But this is from the San Francisco Chronicle.com. You could see their headline says, "No, California wouldn't pay reparations to every Black resident. Here's how compensation would be limited." It just, I'm this is unbelievable, right? So, the San Francisco Chronicle reports that California's reparations task force has completed the central piece of its work, voting during the weekend to approve a plan to compensate some Black residents for the state's role in enabling slavery and other forms of white supremacy. Yet, even after the final vote, confusion remains as to who exactly would qualify for potential cash payments, some of which can be up to $1 million. Not all Black residents of the states will be eligible for cash compensation or other forms of direct reparations. The task force recommends that reparations be limited to people who can trace their lineage to slavery in the U.S. and descendants of a free Black person living in the country before 1900. There's other parts of this here I'll get to as well in a second. There's police stuff as well. The 9-member panel actually voted to limit eligibility more than a year ago, long before its final public meeting on Saturday. The 5-4 decision so bitterly divided the task force so that the question has loomed over the rest of its work. There's a misconception that reparations would be paid to all Black residents spread quickly during the weekend, as the task force made history with its recommendation of cash payments. A headline on Fox News website declared that California reparations panel approves payments of up to $1.2 million for every Black resident. That's not true. But apparently some people might get that much. The size of the cash payments would vary based on how long a person has lived in California. Rough estimates of potential damage caused by slavery and its vestiges are up to $1.2 million per person over a lifetime. Wow. And this can literally bankrupt California because Governor Gavin Newsom, they're going to have to determine how to even pay for this plan, which economists have estimated could cost $800 billion. That's almost $1 trillion just for a single state. The task force has up until July 1st to deliver its final report. Good luck, because this could literally bankrupt the largest state in our country. I don't know how they're going to pay for this. Putting aside the other stuff here, just the money part of it, right? Another faction of the task force suggested that reparations should be open to all of California's roughly 2.6 million Black residents, regardless of whether their families came here after the end of the Civil War in 1865 or not, and that all their Black people have suffered racial inequalities. If legislatures decide to follow the task force recommendations, restitution would be due in at least 3 areas. A rough estimate of the damages due in those areas, according to the final report, would also include mass incarceration and over-policing in Black communities, $115,000 per person in 2020 dollars, or $2,352 for each year of residency in California from 1971, the first year of the war on drugs, to 2020. So that's a lot of money. Discrimination in housing, such as redlining that denied home loans to black families late into the 20th century, $148,000 per person, or $3,366 for each year between 1933 and 1977 when redlining occurred. Health harm, including unequal access to health care, greater exposure to environmental pollution, and discrimination from medical workers, or $13,619 per person for each year spent in California, or $966,921 per person, with an average life expectancy of 71 years for black people in the state. Wow. First of all, unbelievable stuff, right? You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. We'll have to see how this all unfolds and unravels. I'll keep you up to date. Second of all, what happens with this will be interesting because what might happen with other states as well. Third, will this bankrupt the state of California? They're probably going to have to take out debt to pay for this stuff. And it looks like this is already approved, but how are they going to dole out this money? How much is this going to cost? Is this actually final? I'll have to keep you up to date here on this, but will other states have to do this then as well? And then the other question begs is that, well, what about other people too? And they're tying this into to slavery, but then they're also going into policing and racial injustice and other parts as well, where you would think there'd be a lot of other people affected as well. So you can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Obviously, this is going to be major news here. And people are going to be maybe getting a lot of money out of this. So I'll keep you up to date here. Next, out of Florida, more crazy news. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs a bill that bans Chinese citizens from buying land in Florida. Remember, he's also one of the leading front runners for the Republican Party for the next presidential run. Him and, as you can see there, former President Donald Trump, the two main Republican candidates as of right now. And he's also like 30 years younger than former President Donald Trump. Signs a bill that bans Chinese citizens from buying land in Florida. And this is a concern for a lot of people because China and Russia and North Korea, what we call the three-headed dragon here, a lot of people consider enemies of the state because, they're literally kind of the enemies of the United States. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed multiple bills on Monday that prohibit Chinese citizens from purchasing land in the state. In a news release, DeSantis signed multiple bills here into law, noting that how he called on his state legislature last year to build upon its efforts to combat corporate espionage and higher education subterfuge carried out by the Chinese Communist Party and its agents. SB 264, referred to as Interest of Foreign Countries, will prohibit governmental entities from contracting with foreign countries and entities of concern and restricts conveyances of agricultural lands and interests in real property to foreign principals, which includes the People's Republic of China and other entities and individuals affiliated with the country. Also known here, the state colleges and universities are also prohibited from accepting any grant from or participating in any agreement or partnership with any colleges or universities in a foreign country unless the partnership is authorized by the Florida Board of Governors or the State Board of Education. The bill also requires the government and educational institutions to block access to prohibited applications on all government servers and devices in the state, requiring public employers to retain the ability to remotely wipe and uninstall applications such as TikTok from government-issued devices. Florida is taking action to stand against the United States' greatest geopolitical threat, the Chinese Communist Party, DeSantis said in a statement. Wow. So, yeah, you can let me know your thoughts on this, but there are a lot of people concerned that China is buying up land and potentially going to use it for malicious things. Now, on the other hand, we're looking at things that in California that there has been racial injustice done against Black people, and then now there's potentially racial injustice being done against Chinese people in Florida. So again, that's where I like to just look at things. I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat. I just like to look at things down the middle. On one hand, we're trying to protect our country. And then on the other hand, if you're Chinese or American Chinese, or your lineage maybe comes from that, you may take offense to this. So, yeah, and on the other hand, maybe some people have, Russian descent, and they're maybe taking offense to what's happening in Russia, or maybe they're Ukrainian descent, or they have family lineage from Ukraine, and they take a lot of offense to what they see here every day. And a lot of this stuff, they see this, they have, descent from some of these different countries, and they take a personal offense to a lot of this stuff. On the other hand, maybe some people are saying we need to protect our country from some of these, countries that are literally against us and threatening us with war. So, and that's kind of what I like about my channel, is I kind of get people to think about things from both sides. I'm not just one-sided or the other sided, left or right. I like to get people to think about both sides, or even both sides and the middle of different sides of the coin here, which is, I like that, So what do you think about this? Is this something good for our country, or is this something bad for our country where we're discriminating against people? Uh, is this reparations a good thing, where we're paying out billions of dollars, almost $1 trillion here for something that was done, 100, 200 years ago? Is this something good? Will this lead to more payouts for every other state? Or is this unfair to people that maybe don't get payouts? Or is this just way too much? A lot of, there's going to be a lot of opinions on this. Yeah, and for it to happen only in one state, imagine if this does happen and payouts do happen, imagine what people are going to think for all of the other states that don't get payouts. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. I know you can't make some of this stuff up, but I'll keep you up to date here. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos here. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here's some videos you should watch next. The government just released an urgent message for millions of people, and there are people fleeing from a nuclear disaster in this video. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.